Hello, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2013.
We're back in the office. It's a very snowy day in the UK at the moment, and there's a lot of panic going on. Us British people love panicking about the weather. Schools are closed, offices are deserted.
Except ours.
Yeah, I'm proud to say everyone was in. We're still working, even though just across the road, Lionhead's all closed. There you go. Passion and enthusiasm. We just thought we'd give you a little update on what's been happening. Not much happened over Christmas because we celebrated Christmas and did Christmassy things, but now we're back, and we were back on the first available day of working, and our job now is really to set the framework of what Godus is.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of means this slightly disturbing, putting your ideas down on paper and locking your ideas down. This thing called asset stripping, which is we have an idea, and then the artists go away and say how much art it's going to need, and the coders how much coding.
Yeah.
How are you finding that at the moment?
It's interesting because at the same time we're playing around with, say, the sculpting stuff and just incrementally tweaking all the different variables and to go with that. With Paula, I've been working back and forth with that, and at the same time we've been going through this big internal kind of thought bubble about how we're going to move our prototype into the technology for our alpha. So we're trying to develop a lot of things with a prototype and make sure we can translate that going forward.
How do you feel as a designer? Do you feel this process of locking things down?
What kind of waving goodbye to everything and
no, it's not quite like that.
What? Like just saying you can't go back on.
Well,
the framework.
The realization that you have to. It's my thing that I said to you only a couple of hours ago. Every feature we have will dilute the brilliance of every other feature.
Yeah, I mean that's with the prototype. It's just been getting in bare basics as many kind of key features as we can, seeing what works, what doesn't, and just working out what we definitely need in there and what little things we'll have to kill off. And just say we've only got so many resources to put towards, these primary mechanics.
Well, and indeed, not only the prototype, but this is what we're talking about, is the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the reality, is that every week that goes past is every 2 weeks is 10% of the project time. How scary is that?
Crikey.
Yeah, it is really scary.
Should we show him what the breakdown is?
So this is my favourite thing in the world, which is spreadsheets. So here we have got a spreadsheet of every single feature, which is kind of extracted from our minds and extracted from design documents, but every single feature in the entire game. So if all of these features were implemented, we'd have the total reinvention of a God game. And this is the thing that drives the production process, and Gemma, who's currently outside having a cigarette, and the production process, and that then goes to the artists and the coders and the animators and the sound effects people for them to say, okay, this little line here means this much work for us. So we've done that. I love doing that. I love these spreadsheets.
I think we should go outside.
Jack wants to go outside because it's snowing.
Influence. What influence?
No, that is rubbish. You just want to walk in the snow. You just be honest about it.
And we can talk about all of our temperature.
The temperature?
Systems.
Our thermodynamic systems.
Yeah.
We can do.
See, it's quite thematic.
Right, we're going to cut now and go outside, but don't think we're playing in the snow and making snowmen. We're working really, really hard, and we're working hard to get a prototype out and an alpha out to all of our pledges, so we can learn how to make Godus a brilliant game from your feedback. Right, here we are. It's snowing. We're outside our office. That's our office. There's Lionhead. Bit empty, that. Now, you want to come out here and talk about
Thermodynamics.
thermodynamics, okay?
Yes.
So, the idea is, and it's a very exciting idea, careful. The idea is that we have a number of simulations that run inside Godus. Now, one of those is called the thermodynamic simulation, and that is that heat and cold and wet can be transferred from one object to another. So what, I hear you say? Well, the reason for that is that if there is a fire, and if there is an object like a rock, for example, near the rock will gradually heat up, and it'll heat up to a point it'll start glowing, and then may get white hot eventually, and then that rock would then transfer its heat to other objects. So if the rock fell down the side of a mountain, it would light trees and end up being fairly cataclysmic inside the world. Now, because we are basing the whole world on a living world, it's just one aspect of that living world. It does mean that all your god powers that have things like heat and cold attached to them have far more meaning because of this, because of these simulations going in there. I find that very, very exciting. It's I don't know many games that do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's just rather than just having a power that you just throw down. It's boom, it's there. You've got to make sure the properties of the world are right first. I mean, you can see the pond over there, it's frozen. And so I might not be able to get my followers between two this way.
It's a bit slushy, isn't it? I mean...
So I might not be able to get my followers from one island to another. But if I make sure that the world is prepared to freeze that lake, they might be able to skid over it. So there's a lot of depth and fun to be had.
Yes, we're currently talking about which of these thermodynamic properties are exposed by god powers. We definitely know we're going to have fire. We definitely know we're going to have water. I'm sure our programmers will be a bit nervous about ice.
Well,
because it's a funny thing. Water is a very unique property because it expands when it gets cold. Not many other things do that. Do you realise that?
Water expands when it gets cold. Well, that's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
So let's go across the bridge of destiny. So that's the thermodynamic model. We're excited about that. I mean, really at the moment it's all about implementing all of those ideas that we kind of groomed and discussed and were inspired by our Kickstarter campaign. And that's very exciting, and some fairly tedious stuff as well. It's about implementing all the middleware that we're using and getting the engine tech right and the navigation of the villages. We are just going for version 2 next week of our multiplayer prototype, and everyone in the office will be playing Godus every day, and that's going to be really exciting.
Let's go home.
Let's do that. Anyway, everybody, we're going to be trying to update you really regularly now that we're all back after the Christmas time, and providing the snow doesn't keep us away from the office, we're going to be updating really regularly. It's very exciting.
It's fixed, Joe.
We're as excited as we ever were. Thank you very much.